Welcome to Hey, It's Carly Rae's Book Club. This is Book Hour, where authors will talk their latest novels, reveal their writing process, and play some fun book games. I'm your host, Carly Rae. Today we have screenwriter and author Rich Leader. We're going to be talking about his latest novel, Cooking for Cannibals, where the idea of crafting this dark comic thriller came from, if he plans on writing a sequel, and find out if writing a novel is different than writing a screenplay. Plus, we're going to see if Rich is smarter than a fifth grader when we play Game Time.
That is questionable.
We'll dive in right after this. Rich, tell us where you're joining us from.
Hi, Carly Rae. I am in Wilmington, North Carolina, near the beach.
And as we talked about, Wimbledon is where there's major movies produced.
Yes, Wilmington has a big studio here. Screen Gems has a studio here.
Awesome. Now, your latest novel, Cooking for Cannibals, pictured here, releases January 14th. Tell viewers more about what they can expect from this dark comic thriller without giving away spoilers.
So they can expect outrageous, beyond the pale characters. They can expect crazy great action. They can expect an unput-downable story. They can expect an unexpected, wild romance. Entertainment is what they can expect. I'm an entertainer. I'm trying to make you laugh and tell you a story you never heard before and might never hear again.
Now, one thing I'm curious about is where this idea of crafting Cooking for Cannibals came from.
Yes, this is always the question. Where does a writer get their ideas? So I'm a Hollywood kid. You know, I learned how to tell stories there. In my adult life, and I'm a high concept writer. Ideas come to my head that's a high concept. For instance, a drug that profoundly reverses the aging process that comes with an incredibly weird side effect. That is a sort of a high concept. And then I like to run with that. I like to create crazy characters and put them in a high concept story. So where exactly cannibalism comes from is I'm a fan of Sweeney Todd. I really love that musical. And I just think I thought that might be a really fun way to play, you know, the movie Cocoon? Yeah. I thought this would be a fun way to play with that concept, to stick a side effect in there that was really beyond the pale.
Now, the main characters, Carrie Cromer and Johnny Fairfax, could not be more different. Tell us, did you always picture them to be polar opposites of each other?
Yes, I always picture, I love romance. I'm a romantic. But I believe that they should be opposites. You know, Neil Simon, very famous playwright and writer, he says he tries to find two people who shouldn't be in the same state, and he puts them in the same room. And I think that's a great way to view romance, too. I try to find the two people most unlikely to ever fall in love, and then create a journey for them so that they do fall in love. And so Johnny and Carrie, that's what happens to them. Yeah, they are polar opposites.
Now, do you have a favorite part in Cooking for Cannibals you're most excited for readers to read?
Oh, I'm not sure I can narrow that down. I love sort of the scenes that have out of control action, where the reader is gripped, can't let go, can't stop reading, can't stop laughing, and at the same time they're saying to themselves, why am I laughing at this? I shouldn't be laughing at this. This is not normally funny. But there are some great scenes. The first time Johnny meets with his parole officer, I think is a really great scene. I think it's really funny that there's a shootout in the lab that I think is really exciting and fun. There's a knife fight in the courtyard where the old people live that is really off the hook. There are two characters in this book. There's a fixer and a cleaner who come to town to sort of fix and clean up the mess, and they're enemies also. And watching them interact with each other and watching them interact with the people is just hilarious. And I think when Tino, the cleaner, when he meets his end with the rats, that's unforgettable.
Now you are a screenwriter too. So do you like mentally picture the books when you're like writing them?
Yes, I'm a visual entertainer. I have to see it in order to write it. In fact, I visualize it first, which is just from all my training writing movies. Yeah, I have to be able to see it in order to know what it is the crew and the cast are all doing. And that does not change in a novel for me. I have to see the action. And then I just write what I see. I play the whole scene out in my head, and then I write. I mean, I book it out first. I'm a plotter, not a pantser. And then I have to see each scene and hear it. And then I just write what I see and hear.
Yeah. Now, what is it you hope readers take away from Cooking for Cannibals?
Yes, good. Theme is the enemy of story. Theme evolves from story. It grows from the story. I don't start with theme. I start with the intention of entertainment. I want to entertain you. I want to make you laugh. I want to keep you reading. I want to write something that you just are having so much fun. If a theme can be pulled out of that when you're reading, that's awesome for you. I guess in Cannibals, there could be old people and how young people relate to old people and what it feels like to get old and then to get young again and then to get old again. All of that could be twisted into some sort of theme, but not for me. For me, it's a fun ride.
So you want readers to laugh and have a good time when they're reading?
I want them to have a blast. I had a blast writing it. I want readers to have a blast reading it.
Well, you heard Rich talk all things Cooking for Cannibals. Stay tuned, because when we return, we're going to find out how writing a novel differs from writing a screenplay.
Hey there, I'm Wes, and I'm a recovering drug addict and alcoholic. Looking back, I don't think I was that different from most who experiment with drugs and alcohol. The only difference is, I never stopped. What began with a few pills here and there led me to depending upon roughly 35 Vicodin a day. My addiction rocked me to the point where I ended up living in an old warehouse. I didn't want to live anymore, but at the same time, I really didn't want to die. They say it's darkest before the dawn, and that held true in my case. In a moment of clarity, courtesy of the man upstairs, I got on the road to recovery. It was time to use this gift to help others. And Clean Cause was born. Homegrown in Austin, Texas, and armed with purpose, the Clean team has created a beverage company whereby 50% of the profits go to support individuals in recovery from alcohol and drug addiction. We're ready to rock and roll, but we're only a few. We need you. Buy any of our products and you'll be energizing recovery from alcohol and drug addiction. Shop now at cleancause.com.
Welcome back to Book Hour. I'm your host, Carly Rae, here with screenwriter and author Rich Leader. Now, Rich, you are not just an author. According to your website, your scripts have been produced 19 times.
That is
what is it like writing a screenplay versus writing a novel?
Well, yes, for 19 times, including last November, was a feature film starring Nick Cage called Primal. Before that, all of those movies were television movies on CBS, Hallmark, Lifetime, and there's a significant number of them. The difference is, in a movie, you're never in the character's head. You're never writing about what someone is thinking. Thoughts must be portrayed as either action, what someone does, or dialogue, what they say. That is the only way to transfer information to the audience. If you think about it, when you're watching a movie, you're hearing what they say and you're seeing what's on the screen. So street signs, building signs, They could put up a scroll on the thing of words and plus the dialogue. What you see and what you hear are the only way to get information. In a book, you can dive into the character's head and explore what they felt about their past and their parents, or dive into what they're hoping for in the future. You can be in the mind of your character, in the thoughts. Can't do that in a movie. In a movie, you're restricted in time. You only have a certain number of pages. If there's a general rule of thumb, a page a minute in a script. So if each script is a minute of screen time, you're writing down the page as opposed to writing across the page. That's a very different sensation, to make sure there's a minute worth of stuff on each page. That is not at all part of novel writing, where you're completely dependent upon your skill as a writer. As good as you are, you can do whatever you want on the page as long as people keep reading. You can't do that in a movie. You have to very strict structurally, which helped me in novels too. Those are two big changes. The economy of words as opposed to as many words as you're good enough to keep writing. Time is handled very different in a movie as opposed to a novel, and thoughts. So those are three big ones.
Yeah. Now, of your movies on Lifetime and Hallmark, are any of them on currently with the Hallmark Christmas?
I have written several Hallmark Christmas movies, but not this year.
Yeah.
But several, yes.
That's awesome.
You can find my movies somewhere on TV, if you go looking for them. They're there. They never go away.
Now, do you have a favorite screenplay or favorite novel that you've written?
Oh boy. I always love what I just wrote best. I always love that best. If I'm looking backwards, I wrote a movie called The Last Brickmaker in America that starred Sidney Poitier. That was a CBS movie. That was a really important film for me because of the experience of working with him. I do like that movie a lot. I think one of my most popular movies was called 1,000 Men and a Baby. That's a Christmas movie, also CBS. That's a really fun one to look up. That's a really great feel-good Christmas movie, 1,000 Men and a Baby. And I love Primal, the one that Nick Cage made. Love that movie. I like all my movies and my books. I like to write. I love to write. I love sentences, and so when I write a good sentence, I'm like, that was a good sentence,
Well, walk us through your day when writing a novel. Does it differ from when you're writing a screenplay?
No, for me, structurally, it's the same. And my life structurally is the same. I'm an exerciser. I work out a lot. And I got to do that first. That's how I wake up. If I don't work out first, I'm not a sentient human being. And it's really difficult for me to write anything that would impactfully influence you emotionally if I'm not at my best. And so exercise comes first. I usually sit down. I think about what I'm going to write that day's writing. I think about that throughout the morning when I swim and I walk. And so I'm thinking about that when I'm doing those things. But I don't actually sit down to write till the afternoon. And then I try to get a good 4 or 5 hours in. And then I can tell I'm not as good at it toward the end of those hours. You just feel, how you feel it? You're like, this is terrible what I'm writing now. I just don't have the energy to be all these people, to become all these people, to have them real in my office. And so I stop writing. I don't have a word count. I don't care. Whatever I did that day, awesome news, whatever it is. Some days better than other days. Some days great, 2,000 words. Some days 500 words. Some days I'm a terrible writer. I don't write anything good. So, and that's the same for movies or books or whatever. It's always the same process for me. It happens to be the same outlining for me. It's just the handling of the material is different. It's they're two very different mediums. There's a script which is deeply formatted, and you can't wing it. You've got to follow formatting because the script is basically a blueprint for the crew to go make that movie. I'm writing a set of plans, basically. A novel is not like that, it's a novel.
Yeah. Now, shifting over to your screenwriting again, at what point is the screenplay out of your hands? Are you involved in the making of the movie once it's sold, or are people free to do what they want after that?
No. So the answer to that question is money. As soon as money has exchanged hands, then my role as a power player ends. I'm an employee at that point. Somebody bought the rights to the script. They own it. So it's their script now, not mine. So if they want it a certain way, my job is to make it a certain way. Now I will fight back if I think they're taking missteps, but I will lose that fight because they own the script at that point. So as soon as money changes hands, it's the business. I'm all grown up, so I understand what the business is, and I've been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
I like the business. It's a tough business, but I like it. What do I go to the set? If the director is my friend, then I will be invited to the set. If the director is someone I don't know at all, very often the writer is a threat to the director, and so the director will not invite the writer to the set. So I've been to many of the movies that got made, but not all of them. No.
Yeah. Now, shifting over back to your writing again, Laugh Riot Press is your publishing imprint. What made you decide to start it?
I think I became an indie author for the same reason most people do: control over your own books, and control over your own time. I did go with an agent. I've had agents in Hollywood all my life. I did go with a book agent for a while, and we did go to publishing houses. And I heard basically the same thing. Oh my God, great writer. Too bad he writes funny books. Funny doesn't sell. To which I said, I think funny is going to sell. Why don't you just do it? It's awesome. Anyway, I got tired of waiting. I like building the book. I like being deeply involved with the cover and the formatting and the editing process. I like being in all of that. And I don't want that taken away from me. And if the cost of that is that I also have to become good at marketing the books, well, okay, that's the cost. I did it for control. I don't want to wait years and years. I need to go. Let's go. Let's do it. I think that's why most people become an indie author, so that they can control their books, their material, their careers, their lives. Most writers have a lot of things they do besides write. They're parents. They have a job. Or in a marriage, they have responsibility other than to their writing. And I think when you control your own writing, it's easier to fit it into the rest of your life. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Stay tuned, because when we return, it is game time.
Coffee. The liquid that helps us start our day or keeps us going at 2 p.m. when our keyboard pillow nap comes calling. You're good. At Fire Department Coffee, we know how important it is to you that your coffee tastes great. Because let's face it, when you're choking down 8 to 10 cups of bean juice a day running back-to-back calls, or just trying to keep your wits together while your well-behaved children tug at every last strand of your sanity, we want to make sure that every last drop in your mug is the best coffee you've ever tasted.
Who are you talking to?
That's why at Fire Department Coffee, every stage of your order is watched after by carefully trained professional eyes, like our head roaster, retired fire captain Dave from our R&D department that's always striving to make sure that your next cup of Fire Department coffee is the perfect balance of wonderful taste and the caffeinated motivation that you need to get through your day.
There has got to be a better way of testing this.
Probably. Making sure that you get your orders delivered to you as quickly and affordably as possible. Hey, Doris, you know you're the only lady I hand deliver to.
Oh, thank you, Jason. I was wondering if you could help me. I think my cat is stuck in the attic again.
Are you sure he's up here, Doris? It's really hot. I can't see anything.
Oh, I'm sure he's still up there. Why don't you take off your shirt? You wouldn't want to overheat.
Not falling again for that, Doris.
And at the end of the day, we're just thankful that we get to follow our passion of making high-quality coffee for thousands of hardworking people all across the world. So thank you for your support, and we look forward to making each and every one of your days better, one cup of coffee at a time.
Cut.
Woo! Good job, guys.
Very, very nice.
Smooth.
A lady named Doris just ordered a couple bags of coffee and asked for it to be delivered by her steamy ginger firefighter.
Oh, that lady is relentless.
Welcome back. It is game time. The first game we're going to play is Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Rich, are you ready?
I guess so.
The first question is, the Battle of Gettysburg was fought in which war?
Civil War.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding.
Good. Okay.
All right.
It's horrible to
second
get none of them right, so at least I've got one.
Second one is red an adjective or a noun or both?
Both.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. So far,
It's a writer question. Is that a fifth grade writer question? Oh my God. Boy,
right.
I got that one right.
The third one. What is the capital of New York?
Albany.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding.
Yay.
You're doing good.
A 3 right.
All right. The fourth one. What planet is nicknamed the Red Planet?
Mars.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding.
I'm passing fifth grade.
All right. The final one. What is the minimum age for a U.S. president?
44. It's either 42 or 44.
35.
4 out of 5. I'll take it.
Well, you are smarter than a fifth grader.
Not much.
The next game we're going to play is Would You Rather. First one is, would you rather direct a film or write a novel?
Oh, that's very hard. I'm going to say I would like to direct the novel I wrote.
Okay, that's good. All right, the second one. Would you rather vacation on a sandy beach or in a cabin in the mountains?
Mountains. I live at the beach. Mountains.
Number 3, would you rather go in a spaceship or a submarine?
Gosh, these are good questions, CarlyRae. Spaceship.
Okay. Number 4, would you rather drive a self-driving car or a classic car?
Classic.
And number 5, would you rather be able to see the future or be transported into a different time in the past?
Oh, I'm a future kid. Yeah, I'm a future.
You're going to go to the future.
Future kid, yep.
Well, that concludes our game time. Rich, I want to thank you for being on Book Hour and joining us today.
It's totally awesome, CarlyRae. Thank you for doing the show. It's fantastic that you do this.
Thank you. Now, before we let you go, tell viewers if you're writing more books or if we can expect other scripts of yours to be on the big screen.
Yeah, so that's good. Thank you. I am more than 3/4 of the way done with the 4th and final book of I write a mystery series called the Kate McCall Crime Capers.
Okay.
This is the 4th and final book in that series, and I'm having a blast with it. It's very funny, set in New York. It's not dark comedy, it's just crazy comedy, but it's really good mysteries too, rockin' good mysteries. So there's that. I have about, I want to say 3 more dark comic thrillers to write next. I like romance, so I have a romantic comedy. I have tons of books to write. I have 3 films that still are circling around out there that, will they get made or not? Who knows? But I have 3 that I already wrote that are out there. And then I have another film that I am working on now. So I have tons of writing. I'm always writing. Writing is breathing for me. Yeah. If I'm not writing, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So, there you go.
Yeah. Now, if viewers want to follow you on social media, where can they find you?
The best place to find me is my website, which is richleader.com. That's the best place to find me. I email everybody back. I love to talk to readers and all people. So if you email me from my website, I will email you back.
Awesome. Well, you heard Rich. Go check him out now. His website link is in the description below. And don't forget, Cooking for Cannibals releases this January. Rich, thank you so much for being on Book Hour. And for those watching, I hope you have a great day.
I had fun, Carly Rae. It's so nice to be here with you.